facing the police every single day.
Black students march on OSU with AR-15s to show self-defense has nothing to do with race. A group of black gun rights activists open-carried on OSU campus to protest the gun-free zones on college campuses and advocate for every student's right to defend themselves with a firearm. By Jack Burns, September 24, 2018. Following a car-ramming knife attack at Ohio State University in late 2016, a group of white students organized an open-carry gun walk on campus to promote students' rights to self-defense by firearm. Somali-born student Abdul Razak Ali Artan used his car to run over his fellow students, then exited the car to slash people with a knife. Artan was then shot dead by campus police, but not before 13 students and staff were injured in the attack. Instead of praising the Second Amendment, a group of 10 anti-gun faculty members wrote a letter of condemnation to the campus newspaper's editor and suggested the group was racist, and should not have been protected by campus police, meaning their rights to peacefully protest should also be silenced and they do not deserve the same protections under the law. Black students, who also believe in their rights to self-defense, decided last week to challenge the notion and engage their fellow students in a debate about their rights to defend themselves with a gun. Kendall Arroyo, a black student, organized the event. He said, "If you want to know the God-honest truth, we read the letter to the editor and we noticed that they basically said, we don't think a bunch of black people could be able to get away with something like this. This is not supposed to be a racial thing. We're talking about Second Amendment rights for every law-abiding American citizen. Our race should not have to be a factor at all, and society says that we're either supposed to be gunned down or incarcerated right now. And we're here to show that that's not the case, and now I invite them to figure out their next excuse," Arroyo said, challenging the anti-gun professors to further comment. Arroyo points to the fact that crime near college campuses is often much higher than in areas where there are no gun-free zones. He said, "Unfortunately, college campuses are an environment where a lot of assaults, robberies, sexual harassment, and things like that take place, and current rules state that students and faculty are not allowed to carry. If that were to change, we might actually see a decrease in those kind of crimes." Also worth noting was Arroyo's contention self-defense is not a racial right but a human right. Everyone has the right to defend themselves by any means necessary, which includes a firearm, even in gun-free zones such as a college campus. Federal law may limit when and where a student can defend themselves, but Arroyo believes it is unconstitutional to establish such zones whereby students cannot effectively protect themselves. When discussing open carry and Second Amendment rights, Arroyo concluded, "Our race and ethnicity should not be a factor at all." Anti-gun students point to the fact Artan was killed within moments of attacking his fellow students and staff on OSU's campus. But even though Artan was killed within 2 minutes following the onset of his attack, one gun-carrying black student described the mayhem a potential mass murderer could inflict had he/she been equipped with a firearm. Jordan Telting noted OSU's anti-gun policies will not stop a mass shooter from shooting up OSU. He stated he was currently carrying 261 bullets and 2 guns with him. He said, "How much damage could someone that has this weaponry inflict on the student population before the police come there to save them? You should have that right, if someone starts shooting up your dorm, to protect yourself." Telting equated OSU's current policy disallowing students from defending themselves against an attacker as hiding in a corner or being like a fish in a barrel. Ultimately, the student becomes the victim. Both groups of gun rights activists want concealed carry to be allowed on campus for the protection of students. Currently there are 12 states which allow concealed carry permit holders to carry their firearms on campus. Ohio is not one of those states.
This is a Ruger AR-15 chambered in .556.
A group of gun owners from Columbus and Cincinnati met on campus for an open carry educational walk.
Unfortunately, college campuses are a culture where a lot of a lot of assaults, robberies, sexual harassment, things like that take place, and current conduct states that students and faculty are not allowed to carry. If that were to change, we might actually see a decrease in those kind of crimes. Criminals do not follow laws, and all you're doing when you add more laws is just hurting law-abiding citizens. When we say gun saves lives now, you have numbers all the time. I know the popular number is, guns kill 30,000 people a year, but nobody wants to take into consideration how many times a gun can actually save a life, how many times it can actually deter a threat, deter a crime, and that number can be well over 2 million a year.
The walk was specifically organized in response to a letter written by 12 Ohio State professors and published in the Lantern. The letter was written to express outrage at a previous open carry walk. In its closing, the letter blamed the university for not only welcoming a group of white activists with deadly weapons to our campus, but providing them university police security. While elsewhere in the state, people of different races are killed for the possession of weapons in places where such possession is not even banned, as it is on campus.
I read the letter with the 12 or 13 professors that actually wrote the letter talking about their disapproval for the campus carry, and the last paragraph of it basically said in a nutshell, we don't think that if it was a group of black people, they would be able to get away with this. That is exactly why we're here today, to prove that wrong. We're talking about Second Amendment rights for every law-abiding citizen, where our race and ethnicity should not actually be a factor at all. We're here to show you, if that was your concern, what is your excuse now?
The activists came armed and ready to voice their opinions on the right to bear arms on a college campus.
This is a Glock 23 right here. It's a 40 caliber pistol. And then this is my AR-15. It's actually a Stag 15 is the model it is. Semi-automatic rifle. You guys should all have the right to carry a gun, because OSU's campus policy of not having a gun is not going to stop someone from shooting up your school. They don't care, mass shooters don't care about any law, let alone OSU campus policy. Right now with my ammunition and my rifles, right, I have 221, sorry, because there's one in the chamber, 221 rounds of rifle ammunition on me. I have 40 rounds of pistol ammunition on me. So even if it takes 10 to 15 minutes for the police to respond to a shooting, how much damage could someone that has this stuff inflict on the student population before the police come there to save them? So you should have that right, if someone starts shooting up your dorm room or something, to protect yourself and not rely on hiding in a corner or being a fish in a barrel, or a victim basically, with no means to protect yourself.
The walk quickly drew a crowd on the Oval, and many students voiced their own opinions.
I guess I would say that I'm pro allowing people to have guns. I wouldn't necessarily, I'm pro open carry. A lot of the logic that the people in favor of the movement have been using, I feel like kind of doesn't really relate. They say that they come from like inner city urban environments where guns are necessary to survive, but being from that environment myself, I feel like that's not necessarily true. And like I grew up in that rough environment too. I've been in situations where I was in a car and my car's been shot at, but like I still don't feel that I need that on Ohio State's campus. Maybe in the community, but it's very different than being on a campus where like the average time for police to show up is less than a minute.
Some students came to specifically speak against the open carry activists.
A lot of the protesters here that are pro-open carry want there to be more guns so that they can protect themselves, but the likelihood of the guns getting into the wrong hands, if there are more guns, I just think that that means that there's going to be inevitably more shootings, and I think that that makes our campus a more unsafe area.
The gun debate continues to rage on campus and across the country. For Lantern TV, this has been Joe Matz.
Police use who may want to retaliate against him physically.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I just wanted you to know that I am using this stuff under fair use. And also remember to like and subscribe this channel. Also too, keep in mind I do not make any money on YouTube. This is 5 hours work a day, you know, fighting for freedom. And you can donate with PayPal and Patreon. I just want you to think about this. If everybody gives to PayPal and Patreon, Patreon is every month. Actually, PayPal you can do every month. I have 12,000 subscribers. If everybody gives, I can quit my regular job and go full-time investigations on Charlotte County and possibly even more and beyond. So just keep that in mind. If everybody helps out, I can go full-time doing this. Thanks.